The Soundcore Flare by Anker is my favorite portable Bluetooth speaker, and it's not just because of the lights. Let's dive in. Soundcore Flare is the first speaker Anker has made with an LED light show. The lights cover just a small portion of the bottom of the speaker, unlike the JBL Pulse series, which are mostly lights. You can toggle through various light modes by hitting the physical button on the top of the speaker or by scrolling through the Soundcore app, which also allows you to choose between different EQ settings. However, it doesn't provide fully customizable controls. For that, you'll need to download another app. There is one complaint I have about the lights. I wish you could just pick one color and have it displayed if you wanted, but that isn't even an option. So if there is an area for improvement, that would be my recommendation. The lights and app control aren't the only things that make the Flare stand out though. The speaker is rated IPX7 water resistant, which means you won't have to worry about getting splashes on this thing out by the pool or using it in the rain. You could probably even fully submerge this for a while. In fact, I dunked it into a bucket of water for my own testing, and although it was noticeably quieter underwater, it was still playing, and after drying out for a bit, sounded just like it did out of the box. Alright guys, we're getting ready to do a little water test here with the Soundcore Flare. I'm just going to go ahead and dunk it into this 5-gallon bucket of water, and we'll see, one, if it survives, and two, whether or not it floats. So let's go ahead and take a look. I'm also playing music right now on the Flare, so we'll see if that continues playing or if it loses connection. So again, without any further ado, here we go. Okay, it is floating, and that is good news. It is floating upside down. You can see the color is still going there. Nice orange shade. Sorry about that being out of focus, but yeah, I'm actually surprised that it floats. Alright. Now, I'm not going to do anything like super scientific in terms of how long or how deep. I just wanted to kind of throw it in a bucket of water and see how it fared, and maybe push it around a little bit in here, make sure it's getting water, make sure it floats. So push it against the bottom, and yep, it comes right back up to the top. So yep, pretty full 5-gallon bucket. Seems to be doing just fine. I cannot hear it underwater, but of course that's because I had the volume set pretty darn low on this thing before I threw it in, just to not, disturb the neighbors and stuff like that. But yeah, there you have it, folks. No bubbles from the audio that I can tell, anyways. But yeah, I'm pretty glad that it floats, because that means, say you have it on the boat or something, accidentally drop it in the pool or in the lake, you can find it. So that's good news there. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and take it out now. And it's still playing. It's quieter than before just because it's got a ton of water in it, but still playing. Now, keep in mind, guys, of course, to have this waterproofing work, you must have this flap here closed that hides the micro USB port as well as the aux input. So make sure that's closed before you put it in, or get it close to water. That way you're surely safe. But again, you can see Soundcore Flare still working. Lights are still working. LEDs are still working up top as well. And it's letting me pause it, so that's all very good. I like what I'm seeing so far with the Soundcore Flare. Let's go back to the rest of the review. Okay, I can't believe I went this far into the review without mentioning the Flare's design. Like, are you seeing this thing? I think the Flare is the most aesthetic speaker Anker has ever made, by far, and the fact that they've managed to make it waterproof looking like this is just fascinating. Now, I know what you're all probably wondering at this point. How does it sound? After all, a speaker is pretty much worthless if it sounds like crap, no matter how many extra features there are and how much water you can spill on it. Well, I am happy to report that the Soundcore Flare sounds incredible. In fact, it's probably one of the best aspects of this speaker. Truly, I am blown away by the sound this produces, and although I'm not an audiophile, I can say this sounds just about as good as both the Soundcore Boost and Sport XL I've reviewed previously, even though they are more expensive and offer less bonus features. I think it even compares pretty favorably to the Amazon Echo. Now, of course, this doesn't have a smart assistant built in, but honestly, we've got enough of those around the house anyway. Now, in addition to the various EQ modes, which are controllable only through the app, there is an option to boost the bass with what Soundcore calls their bass up function. You can do this through the app, but there's a button directly on the top of the speaker as well. Honestly though, I prefer the bass up off most of the time. I guess I'm not huge on bass and prefer a more balanced soundstage, but if you like the low end, at least you have that option. Now let's talk about battery life. Inside is a 4400 mAh battery that leads to 12 hours of playtime. I do like the fact that this automatically powers off after not being connected to a device for 30 minutes to preserve as much battery life as possible. Another cool thing is that you can play music while charging. Recharging this thing doesn't take long. With a 2 amp charger, it'll jump from 0 to 100% in about 3.5 hours. Bluetooth version 4.2 is also on board, which, while it isn't the latest 5.0 standard, is far from a deal breaker, and I've had little issues with the connectivity, as long as I'm within a reasonable distance, which is generally 30 to 60 feet tops for Bluetooth. So we've covered a couple of the not so exciting aspects of the speaker, so let's go back to the awesome features. And I think you're really going to like this one. Soundcore Flare sounds amazing as it is, but what you might not know is that you can pair one with another Soundcore Flare to create a true wireless stereo setup. Now unfortunately, I don't have two speakers to test out this feature, but I can only imagine how great the audio experience would be. So pretty much everything I've mentioned so far in this review has been positive, but there's something I'm really not a fan of, and it goes back to how you charge up the speaker. For whatever reason, Soundcore has once again made the decision to include a micro USB port instead of USB-C. I really don't know what they were thinking, so if you're living that Type-C life, you may have to look elsewhere. Hopefully they start rolling out USB-C accessories soon. Like, real soon. Last but not least, let's quickly cover what comes included in the box. You get the Soundcore Flare itself, a user's manual, safety instructions, and of course, a micro USB cable. Well, that just about wraps up this video. I'm clearly a fan of the Soundcore Flare and have no problems recommending it to anyone. But if you're wanting a speaker that sounds a little better and has even more features, then you might want to consider waiting until the Soundcore Flare Plus comes out in August for $100. In the meantime, I'll leave the Amazon link in the description below, and you can check out the latest pricing there. Just for reference, the regular price for the Flare is $60. If you enjoyed this review, please consider helping me out by dropping a like. Also, be sure to ask any questions you may have in the comment section down below, and I'll do my best to answer them. Finally, I'd greatly appreciate it if you'd subscribe so you don't miss out on anything I'm preparing for the near future. Until next time, this has been Josh from Josh's Reviews.